Welcome back to the podcast, listeners. Today, I'm joined by Barbara, the garden leader for Eden Garden. The Eden Garden is a local organic food garden that not only provides fresh produce to organizations supporting food insecure communities, but also shares its harvest with Goodness Village. Eden Garden plays a crucial role in making fresh, nutritious food accessible, and they even welcome volunteers, including our neighbors, who want to get their hands in the soil and be a part of something bigger. Barbara, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Let's start with a little introduction. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of Eden Garden and the mission?
Well, it started in 2009. We were on the church property before there was a church. It was us and the cows and a few other people. And we ambitiously planted 2 rows of tomatoes, and we did get tomatoes in that first year. And we just have 2 simple goals: to provide fresh organic produce to those in need and to offer a place for people to learn how to grow their own food in a community. So
Nice.
It's very simple.
I did not know it had been around for so long. Have you been the garden leader that entire time?
I have, and with Karen Abrascato, who I think you know, we started it together, just the 2 of us.
Nice, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so can you tell us, since you've been the garden leader for that whole time and being in a leadership position with a lot of vegetables and also volunteers, how has it evolved over the years?
Well, it's grown. It used to be, as I say, just a couple of rows, and now I don't remember how many pounds that first year was, but probably only like 10 pounds of tomatoes or something. But now we average about a ton of produce every season, so sometimes twice a year. So in that way, it's really grown, literally grown, and the number of volunteers, the people involved, and now the church is here, and we have to share with the land with everybody else. But we like to do that too.
Right. Yeah. So Eden Garden is actually one of the 4 nonprofits on this land. So we all share the space together. And it's such an amazing opportunity to have our neighbors not only be able to reap the benefits of the garden, but also have the opportunity to volunteer in the garden if they wish. And gardening is such a healing, therapeutic experience. Although I don't have a green thumb, I will occasionally go to the garden and help out and never feel like I'm being a burden or anything, which is really nice. But could you tell us about any inspiring moments or situations that you've come across over the years?
Well, first off, we welcome everybody, and it doesn't matter what color your thumb is. And we have something for everyone, and it is physical work, so there is a physical side to it, but we do offer other sort of less strenuous activities, I guess. Something that over the years, I think the diversity of our volunteers, our oldest volunteer is 93, and then we also have children who are 2 and 3 years old, and everything in between. And so, and I hope they all feel welcome, and our goal is always to make sure people feel like they've made a difference, that they've had a meaningful experience, that they've done something of value. So that's one of the things. But I think as far as an experience, we were at the food bank not so long ago, and we walked in with our lettuce, our beautiful organic, beautifully colored leaf lettuce, reds and greens and speckled lettuce. And there are people line up at the food bank for several hours, and we have to take the produce in. We have to walk past them. So they were looking at our lettuce, and then I went in, and all they had was grocery store lettuce in plastic bags that was very brown looking and not too appetizing. And the look on the people's faces when they saw that fresh green and red lovely lettuce, I just felt so thankful that we could provide that as opposed to what they would have had otherwise. So it's those kind of things. And then the conversations with people and just getting to know people. When you work in a garden, you're alongside someone, usually for an hour or so, and you naturally talk, and that's how you share your life experiences and kind of get to know one another. So.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Something that a lot of people may not know is that people who are food insecure are often at the mercy of food banks and people donating excess food that's in their cabinet that they probably wouldn't even eat because it's expired. And so the fact that you guys are able to give them quality organic produce probably means more than you guys even know to them.
I hope so, and I think I definitely agree. I think oftentimes donations are food that's maybe not very good for you. You know, like Easter is a prime time. People have all this candy left, right? And so, we'll give that to the food bank. Those people deserve to have a healthy diet as much as we do.
Exactly.
And I've always felt that sometimes people ask, well, why do you grow so many different varieties of things? Can't people just have plain red tomatoes? And I said, no, because I want to give them the diversity that we have. Why shouldn't they have the same opportunity to eat the wonderful fresh stuff that we want to eat?
Right. That's so beautiful. I love that so much. And so can you tell us, because again, you've been the garden leader for some time, you're interacting with not only volunteers, but community food banks and lots of different organizations. Can you tell us why you decided to stay in the garden as the leader and what kind of fuels your passion to stay in this work?
Primarily, backing up, I feel so thankful that I have... I'm able to use what I love to do. I love to garden. I've loved to garden for many, many years. And I'm so thankful that I get to do what I love to do and at the same time serve other people. And so that was the primary sort of motivation. But now it is, in addition to that, is the community of people. These are my friends. These are my people I do life with. So it really is. I mean, in some ways it sounds a little, I don't know, odd to say that, but it really is a community. We know each other, we care about each other, we know what goes on in each other's lives, and support each other as we can. So.
Nice. It's always such a nice opportunity to sit down with someone who found their sweet spot. Like something that you really enjoy doing and something that also benefits the community, so you really just found that nice sweet spot.
Absolutely. I feel very blessed and fortunate in that regard, and it's what gets me out of bed in the morning.
And so I found this out a couple months ago because Hunter was working on your guys' website, but I did not know that the Eden Garden was not a standalone garden, but part of a garden club, the Livermore Amador Valley Garden Club. So that's a couple of community gardens in one. How would you say that Eden Garden is unique in comparison to these other gardens?
Well, the being in partnership with the garden club is a unique thing. You know, it's a secular organization, and here we are a faith-based organization, but the two just marry together perfectly well. And I think, to be perfectly honest, the Eden Garden would not exist today if it wasn't for the garden club. It is their dedication, their expertise, they have several other gardens they can volunteer at, but they choose ours. You do have to limit how many gardens you can volunteer at, or you get a little burnt out. But it just amazes me that they keep coming, and I think it's miraculous that every year they keep coming back, and new people come, and it just keeps on going. And when we started all those years ago, 17 years ago, I would never have dreamt it would be still going 17 years later. Never.
And tons of produce instead of just 10 pounds of tomatoes.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is. Just incredible.
And so you've mentioned quite a few things that I think are your favorites, but could you tell us one thing that is your favorite about being a part of Eden Garden?
I think I have to come back to the community. That is my favorite thing. And being out here, it's such a beautiful campus. And, 35 acres of unspoilt fields, and just being able to wander around in an open space. Open space is getting, much more rare, and I just really enjoy that part, and having other organizations, and I think that attracts other people too. People always ask me about Goodness Village, about Sleep in Heavenly Peace, and I think people are really attracted to a place where they see change happening and people trying to benefit others and to make the world a better place. And I think all of that together makes the community that makes it my favorite thing.
Right. It's a whole lot of goodness happening on this land, I always say on my tours.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
And so if a listener would like to support Eden Garden, either volunteering, donating, what would that look like?
You mean, how would they do that? Or they could just show up on a Friday morning. We're nearly always there, 9 to noon. But otherwise, they could just email us at garden@crosswindschurch.org. And
Okay, perfect.
we will find a spot.
So before we close out, I'm going to ask you a question I ask all of my guests, and that is, what does being a good neighbor mean to you?
Well, I believe that we're on this earth to help each other out. And if you can do that, that's being a good neighbor, just helping each other.
Okay, short and sweet. I love it. Well, Barbara, thank you for sharing your time with us today. It's always an honor to sit and talk about the garden. I love it there. It's so peaceful. I hope those of you who are listening have an opportunity to see the space. It just, even if you're not working in it, just being in the garden makes you feel so light and so at peace. Mm-hmm. And again, for those of you who are listening, if you want to support Eden Garden's mission, whether through volunteering, donating, or just learning more, be sure to check them out. You can email them, attend one of their fabulous garden parties on Friday mornings, and get involved. Mm-hmm. And of course, if you want to get involved with Goodness Village, there are countless ways to do so on our website. Well, that concludes this episode. As always, listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to The Good Pod, share this conversation with your community, and stay tuned for more stories. And remember, being a good neighbor isn't about where you live, it's about how you show up. Thank you for listening to the Goodness Village podcast. Production and recording was done by the Goodness Village operations team with support from Crosswinds Church. Music was provided by Blue Dot Sessions. If you want to know more about Goodness Village, visit us at gvlivermore.org. Thanks again for listening to The Good Pod.